Hello, welcome to the Solutions for Apex Science Academy weekly problems. This problem is about linear equations. For example, how do we graph linear equations and how do we find solutions for linear equations? Okay, so let's try to read this question first. So we are given two complicated equations. So each equation has a multiplication of two variable polynomials. Okay, and we are trying to find the points where these graphs will intersect. So how do we understand this problem? So first of all, we will try to use a simple multiplication rule. For example, let's just represent the first part of this equation as A, for example, here. So this is A, and this will be B. So we know that A multiplied by B equals 0. So what does that mean? That means A equals 0 or B equals 0, right? We cannot have both of them to be non-zero at the same time in order for this equation to be satisfied, right? So same thing here for the second equation, we will have C multiplied by D equals 0. So which means C equal 0 or D equal 0. Okay, so just try to rearrange both of this. So we will have B equals 0, D equals 0, and the B equals 0, C equals 0. So which means we have four situations that will allow us to satisfy both requirements of this equation that are given by this problem. Okay, so how do we solve that? We will just try to plug in the original formula for A, B, C, and D. For example, here for A, x minus y plus 2 equals 0. Okay, for example, for C, x plus y minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so how do we find the lines that will intersect? So let's try to draw these two lines on this two-dimensional coordinate plane. Okay, so here, how do we draw them? So we know that in order to draw them, we need to find the slope and the intersect of x or intersect of y. Okay, so how do we do that? So we need to rearrange these formulas a little bit because we want to find out something like y equals ax plus b, right? So how do we do that? We just rearrange this formula. So how do we do that? Here, for example, this equation is very easy. We just move y to this side, which will get us a standard form. So y equals x plus 2. Okay, so which is exactly what I have here, y equals x plus 2. Okay, the slope is 1, so the y-intercept is 2. Okay, second equation is a little bit complicated, so we want to do minus x on both sides, so x will be cancelled, and we will have minus x, and we plus 2, so we plus 2 here, and this minus 2 will be cancelled, so we will get a y equals minus x plus 2. Okay, which will be the second line that I have here on this plane. Okay, so we see that there is indeed a intersection for these two lines. Okay, so if you can draw this diagram accurately, you can probably just get the points by reading the graph, which is 0, 2. Okay, so of course we can solve this equation by using this system of linear equation. Okay, so how do you do that? So we know that y equals x plus 2, y equals minus x plus 2, right? So we will just replace y equals x plus 2 here to the second equation, which means x plus 2 equals minus x plus 2, right? And then we move this x to this side, we will have 2x, and this 2 plus 2 will be cancelled. So that's why x equals 0. Okay, so x equals 0, and then we can try to figure out what is y. Y basically is 2, right? So we can use x as 0 in either of these two equations, and we get the y, the result of y. Okay, so that is a result for the first situation, which means A equals 0 and C equals 0. But we know that there are 4 possible situations. So which means we can potentially get as many as 4 points that are intersections of these two graphs. Okay, but there may be some points that are the same. So we may get as many as 4 points, but some of the points may overlap. Okay, so how do we solve the remaining conditions? We'll just follow the same procedure. Okay, let me just delete the solutions for the first problem, and then we can work on the second and third conditions. Okay, let me just delete this. Okay, so now let's look at the second condition. So b equals 0, which means 3x plus y minus 4 equals 0. And c equals 0, which means x plus y minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so how do we graph these two equations? Well, same thing as before. So we can just rearrange this formula. So the first formula can be rearranged into y equals minus 3x plus 4. And same thing here, this equation. Okay, same thing here. So this is same thing as before. So still we use this formula for C, which is y equals minus x plus 2. Okay, and again, same thing as before. We can try to draw these two equations on this two-dimensional coordinate plane. And we see that this is our first line and this is our second line. And the intersection of these two lines will be this point, which looks like 1 and 1. And we can also try to calculate this system of linear equation to confirm that. How do we calculate? Again, so we just replace these both sides. Negative 3x plus 4 equals minus x plus 2. Okay, so minus x, so we got minus 2x equals minus 2, right? So, and minus 2, so x equals 1, okay? So then we replace x with 1, and we get y equals 1 in both equations, okay? So now we find the second point. So the first point here, as we just calculated before, it's 0, 2. And the second solution here is 1, 1. And so on and so forth. You can follow the same procedure and to solve these two equations and these two equations, and eventually you will get 4 points. Okay, so I'm not going to replicate this procedure. Basically, we are doing exactly the same thing. We just replace these formulas into these equations, and we get a system equation, linear equation, and then we just use the rule of substitution to cancel one variable, and then we will be able to solve both variables. Okay, so the result for the next two conditions will be negative 1, 1, and 13 over 17, and 27 over 17. Okay, so that's all I want to share with you for this problem. So if you have any questions or you have better solutions, please reach out to Apex Science Academy. So you can find us in WeChat or Gmail. Thank you for watching.